Hello, welcome again. I'm teacher Kabada from Found English Language Improvement Center. Today I'm going to present the past perfect tense. So last time we discussed on some of the aspects of past continuous and simple past. So the lesson that we are going to see today is the past perfect tense. Before I'm coming to start some examples regarding what past perfect tense, let me just have some situation here. We have just two contexts here, 7:30 and 7. Sarah arrived at 7:30 at the bus station, and at 7 the bus had already left the town. So these two sentences shows about how past perfect tense is functioning. So እዚህ ጋር በዛሬው ዕለት የምናየው past perfect tense ነው። past perfect tense ማለት ደግሞ የኃላፊ ማለት ነው። ወይም ግራማሪያን ምን ይሉታል before tense ነው የሚሉት። አንድ past tense ተከናውኖ ሌላ ሁለተኛ past tense ከመከናወኑ በፊት ሁለተኛ past tense ይከናወን ማለት ነው። ለምሳሌ እዚህ ጋር Sarah arrived at 7:30 but the bus has already left at 7. It means so that there are two events here, two different activities here. The first one is Sarah arrived, and the second that the bus had already left the town. It means so there is a first action and there is a second action. It means when Sarah arrived at 7:30 at the bus station, the bus had already left. ይህ ማለት ልክ መናኸሪያ ወይም አውቶቡስ ተራ እንደደረሰች አውቶቡሱ ቀድሞ 7 ሰዓት ላይ ከተማውን ለቆ ወጥቷል ነው። ስለዚህ ሁለት የተለያዩ ኢቨንቶች አሉ እዚህ ላይ። አንደኛው ሾርት አክሽን ነው which is afterward action እንለዋለን። የመጀመሪያው early action ነው። So ይሄን when Sarah arrived at the bus station, the bus had already left here. So the forms of past perfect from this situation is had plus verb 3 or verb 3 which is past participle forms of regular and irregular verbs. So our attention is past participle here. So the common forms of all the pronouns here, that is I, he, she, and it, and we, they, you commonly had plus verb 3 as we see from these papers here. So ምን ለማለት ነው? ሁሉም የፕሮናውኖች የሚያረፍተ ነገር ባለቤቶች had plus verb 3 ይጠቀማሉ። ሲንጉለር ፎርም የለውም and plural ፎርም የለውም። ምክንያቱም የፓስት ፐርፌክት ፎርም ቅድም ልክ እንዳለው had plus participle ስለሆነ ስለዚህ let us give you some examples here. We had gone home, positive sentence, had plus verb 3, but we cannot say here we had go home. That is wrong. Had plus verb 3, but the highlighting marker that is go, which is verb 1 or simple present. So we cannot just make past perfect had plus verb 3 or had plus verb 2. So the correct structure is had plus verb 3. Here we had gone home. It means ወደ ቤት ሄደን ነበር ወይም ሄደናል ማለት ነው። When we change this positive sentence to negatives, we hadn't gone shop. We hadn't gone shop. It means አልሄድንም ነበር. And question, had we gone home? ሄደን ነበርን? Question. So we commonly use these pronouns had plus verb 3. And the second example here, she had seen it and she had saw it. That's wrong. Had plus saw, because saw is simple past or V2 form of the verb see, so we cannot use that structure. So the correct structure is had plus seen. So we had seen or she had seen it. And negative, she hadn't seen it. And question, had she seen it? And here they had time to come back. Had the second had, which is the past participle form of have. So they had time to come back. ሰዓት ነበራቸው ለመመለስ ነው። ሰዓት ነበራቸው ለመመለስ። they hadn't had time to come back. ሰዓት አልነበራቸው ለመመለስ። had they had time to come back? ሰዓት ነበራቸው ለመመለስ። So these are what the pronouns use, the correct forms of past perfect. ይሄን ነው መጠቀም የሚገባቸው። ስለዚህ ስፒከሮቹ ቢለያዩም የፓስት ፐርፌክት ፎርም አንድ አይነት ፎርም እንደሚጠቀሙ ነው ፓስት ፐርፌክት የሚያሳየን። So here functions of past perfect. Functions in a sense, when do we use past perfect? What are the situations which we are intended to use past perfect? ፓስት ፐርፌክትን የት ቦታ ላይ ነው የምንጠቀመው? ምን ለማድረግ ነው የምንጠቀመው? ፎር ኮሚኒኬቲቭ ፐርፐስ እንዴት ልንጠቀምበት እንችላለን? ዋናነት የምናየው ይሄን ፓርት ነው። ሶ when an action had happened before another past action began ምን ማለት ነው? አንድ ሌላ ኃላፊ ጊዜ ከመጀመሩ በፊት የመጀመሪያው አክሽን ተከናውኖ ሲያልቅ ይህንን ድርጊት የምንገልጽበት ፓስት ፐርፌክት እንለዋለን። I will repeat once. when an action had happened before something else happened ምን ማለት ነው? አንድ ድርጊት ከመከሰቱ በፊት ሌላ ድርጊት ቀድሞ ተከስቶ ተከናውኖ አልቋል። ይሄ ፓስት ፐርፌክትን ያሳየናል። ስለዚህ ስንት ኢቨንት አለኝ? ቱ ኢቨንትስ አለኝ፣ ቱ አክቲቪቲዎች አሉ። the first one is an afterward action and the second one is an earlier action. earlier action ማለት ቅድሚያ የተከናወነው ነው። afterward action ማለት ቅድሚያ የተከናወነው ነገር ሲያልቅ ሁለተኛው ኃላፊ ጊዜ ሲከናወን ማለት ነው። let me give you an example here. when I got home somebody had broken into the house. when I got home it means when I got home, which is past simple. somebody had broken, had plus verb 3 into the house. So we have two different events here. one is when I got home, the other is somebody had broken into the house. So the first action here is somebody had broken into the house, and the second afterward action is when I got home. ይሄን ምሳሌ ስንመለከት ሁለት የተለያዩ አክቲቪቲዎች ናቸው የሚያሳዩን። ልክ ቤቴ እንደደረስኩ የሆነ ሰው ቤቱን ሰብሮ ገብቷል ነው። ቤቴ እንደደረስኩ የሆነ ሰው ቤቱን ሰብሮ ገብቷል ነው። ስለዚህ ቤት መድረሱ ሁለተኛ አክሽን ነው። የመጀመሪያው አክሽን ድርጊቱ ተፈጽሟል፣ ቤቱ ተሰብሮ የሆነ ሰው መግባቱ ወይ መዘረፉን ነው የሚያሳየን። ስለዚህ when we are talking about or when we think about past perfect, we consider two different activities. The first one is a rearward action and the second one is an afterward action. An afterward action is always emphasized with simple past, but an earlier action or first action is always expressed with the past perfect. So we had better use past perfect when such situations have happened. And the other example is here. Thomas didn't want to go to the cinema because he had already seen the movie. Two different entities here. Thomas didn't go to the cinema because he had already seen the film. He had already seen the film, the first action. Why Thomas didn't go to the movie? Because he had already seen it. So he didn't go to. So this shows about past perfect, which is simple past, and another past perfect, totally past perfect examples here. And the other, he skinned the sheep after he had slaughtered it. After he had slaughtered the first action, and he skinned it. He skinned it, it means. So simple past here. So this example shows about how we use past perfect. So we can just use past perfect in any contexts. Sometimes we might use simple past in this case when we emphasize that when the first afterward action happened, areza the first action. ልክ ሁለተኛው አገልግሎቱ ደግሞ in some extent የመጀመሪያው አክሽን ከሁለተኛው አክሽን ቀድሞ ሊመጣ ይችላል። የሁለተኛው አክሽን ስንል አሬል አክሽን ነው። ሰከንድ አክሽን ደግሞ አፍተርዋርድ አክሽን ነው። አሬል አክሽኑ ከተከናወነ በኋላ የሚፈጠረው ሁለተኛው ፓስ አፍተርዋርድ አክሽን እንለዋለን። ለምሳሌ they had left the room before the bell rang. they had left the room before the bell rang. ደወሉ ከመደወሉ በፊት ክላሱን ለቀው ወጥተው ነበር ነው። ደወሉ ከመደወሉ በፊት ክላሱን ለቀው ወጥተው ነበር። አሁን በዚህ ኮንቴክስት መሆን የነበረበት after the bell had rang ነው። yes ደወሉ ከተደወለ በኋላ ፈርስት አክሽን ተማሪዎቹ ከክፍል ለቀው ወጥተዋል መሆን የነበረበት ነው። አንዳንድ ጊዜ አርሌር አክሽኑ ሊቀድም ይችላል። አፍተርዋርድ አክሽኑ ደግሞ አርሌር አክሽኑ ሁለተኛ፣ አፍተርዋርድ አክሽኑ አንደኛ ሊሆን ይችላል። ሉክ ሂር they had left the room before the bell rang. ደወሉ ከመደወሉ በፊት ተማሪዎቹ ከክፍል ለቀው ወጥተዋል። so we sometimes use past perfect and such kinds of situation it means. so let me just give you more clarification about what past perfect and what present perfect is. very important part ይሄ ነው። past perfectን መቼ እንጠቀማለን and present perfecትን መቼ እንጠቀማለን? እስካሁን ድረስ ያልኩትን ነገር በዚህ ዲያግራም ማየት እንችላለን። the first diagram shows about past perfect here. so here this is a timeline and past, before now there is a past, and now here had gone means an action had already happened before now, before the time of speaking, before the moment it means. So it doesn't have any connection with the present time. The connection is already started in the past and completed in the past. So what is past perfect እንለዋለን። ይሄንን ከአሁን ጋር አይገናኝም። እዛው ኃላፊ ያልቃል፣ እዛው ጋር ያልፋል። ኃላፊ ጊዜ ጋር ያልቃል። አሯ የምታሳየን እቺ ቀስቷ የምታሳየን እዛ ጋር እንዳለቀ ነው የሚያሳየን። present perfect ላይ ስመጣ ግን look here, the first is the starting time is past and there is now and there is future there. So the arrow begins from the past and stops until the time of speaking now. So there's a difference. So we simply identify when do we use present perfect and when do we use past perfect. ዲያግራሙን ብቻ ታይምላይኑን ብቻ በማየት የሁለቱም ፐርፌክት ቴንሶች ልዩነት መለየት እንችላለን። ለምሳሌ present perfect ስንል ድርጊቱ ይጀምርና ከኋላ ይጀምርና የድርጊቱ ውጤት ከታይም ኦፍ ስፒኪንግ ጋር ይገናኛል። which is present perfect እንለዋለን። present perfect እንለዋለን። So let me give you, we were not hungry. We had eaten lunch here. We were not hungry. We had eaten. Why we were not hungry? We had eaten lunch here. So it doesn't touch about the time being. It talks about things that happened earlier. It means, okay, before the time of speaking. ከአሁን በፊት ስላለ ጉዳይ ነው። ስለ ትናንት ወይም ስለ ከዛ በፊት ወይም ስለ ማታ ሊሆን ይችላል እያወራ ያለው። አራበንም ነበር ምክንያቱም በልተናል ነው እያለን ያለው። በልተናል ነው እያለን ያለው። እዛ ጋር ነው we are not hungry. I'm talking about the time being. Yes, we are not hungry because the result connects at the moment, at the time of speaking here, because we have eaten lunch. Yes, በላን ስለዚህ አራበኝም። ሪዘልቱ ምንድን ነው የሚሆነው? ስትሮንግ መሆኔ ነው። my stomach is full መሆኔ ነው and I'm not hungry now. It means I'm not hungry. So it is interlinking with the time of speaking. So the present perfect ስናስብ የድርጊቱ ውጤት አሁን ከምናወራበት ታይም ጋር ይገናኛል። Second example here, the house was dirty. No one had cleaned it. I'm talking about the past. It means or before past. ስለዚህ ቤት ቆሽሾ ነበር፣ ማንም አላጸዳውም ነበር። Still I'm talking about the past. Second, present perfect. The house is dirty. No one has cleaned it. ቤት ቆሽሿል፣ ማንም ቤቱን አላጸዳውም። መቼ? አሁን አየሁት፣ አልጸዳም። ስለዚህ I can make such kind of example sentences here. ለዚህ አረፍተ ነገር የምሰራው ለዚህ ሐሳብ የምገልጸው present perfect ነው። አልጸዳም ለምን? ምንድነው መገለጫው? The house is dirty. ሪዘልቱ ቤቱ ቆሻሻ መሆኑ። So totally present perfect and past perfect are completely different. Yes, completely different. The arrow shows that it doesn't have a connection with now, but it connects with now. So we can just use past perfect and in the past, things that happened in the past. And when we are talking about things that happen at the present time, so we can just use present perfect. And present perfect is different from that of past perfect. This is all about the past perfect tense. We'll continue discussing on next time about the past perfect continuous tense. This is about today's lesson. Thank you, but don't forget to subscribe and like my YouTube channel.